everyone, welcome to Math Advice. In this video, let me explain how to find the solution of algebraic and transcendental equations. In most of the problems in engineering analysis, we have to face the situation that for a given function f of x, we have to find the value of x for which f of x is equal to 0. The solution or the value of x is known as the root of the given equation f of x equal to 0. Or in other words, I have to explain this as for the given equation f of x equal to 0, we have to find the value a such that f of x a is equal to 0. Here a is known as the root of the given equation. So here we have to find the root of the given equation. Whenever I say it is an equation, there are two types of equation generally we have discussed. One is algebraic equation and the other one is transcendental equation. Algebraic equations are equations which consist of the algebraic terms. That is, for example, x square plus x minus 1 is equal to 0 is an algebraic equation. That is, this equation consists of different powers of x. Likewise, I have to write the cubic equation x cube plus 5x square minus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. It is an algebraic equation. So, algebraic equation consists of only algebraic terms. If so, then we say that type of equations as algebraic equations. Whereas in case of transcendental equation, that doesn't consist of any algebraic terms. It consists of only non-algebraic terms like trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions and exponential functions. For example, x sin x minus x is equal to 0. It is a transcendental equation because it consists of the trigonometric function. Maybe it may be sin x, cos x, tan x, secant, cosecant, whatever that may be of trigonometric function. And logarithmic function like x log x minus 1.2 is equal to 0. This is a transcendental equation because it consists of the logarithmic function log x. Likewise, e power x minus x is equal to 0. It is a transcendental equation because it consists of the exponential function e power x. So, algebraic equations are equations which consist of only algebraic terms, whereas transcendental equations consist of non-algebraic terms like trigonometric, logarithmic, exponential. So now we have to find the root of the equation f of x equal to 0. Whether it may be algebraic or transcendental. So there are two methods are available to find the root of the given equation f of x equal to 0. The one is direct method, the other one is indirect method or iterative method. So using direct method, we can find the exact value of the equation. So direct method gives you the exact value of the given equation in a finite number of steps. For example, you know the solution of an equation ax plus b is equal to 0, isn't it? That is, x is equal to minus b by a is the root of this equation. And for a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, you know the root of the equation, isn't it? That is, x using the formula x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Using this, you get the two roots of this equation. For a cubic equation 2, you get ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equal to 0. We are having some analytical methods are available to find the root of the equation. Suppose if it is of higher order, that is more than 3, we doesn't have any analytical methods or direct method available to find the root of the given equation. In such cases, we move on to indirect method or iterative method to find the solution of the given equation. So here the indirect method follows the concept of successive approximations. There are so many methods are available to find the root of the given equation using indirect method. Among this, we are going to discuss about bisection method, regular fallacy method, iteration method, Newton-Raphson method, secant method and Muller's method. In this video, let me discuss regular falsy method or method of false position. It is one of the simplest and most reliable numerical method which is used to find an approximate root of a given equation f of x is equal to 0. In this method, first we have to find two numbers a and b for which f of a and f of b are of opposite signs. This means the root of the equation lies in the interval a and b. So, the next approximation is obtained by make use of the formula x1 is equal to a product f of b minus b product f of a over f of b minus f of a. By make use of this formula, we calculate. So, the root of the given equation lies in the interval a and b. Next, we have to calculate the successive approximation, that is the first approximation x1. For that, we make use of this formula and calculate the value of x1. Then we have to decide whether the root of the given equation f of x is equal to 0 lies in the interval a comma x1 or x1 comma b. So for that we calculate f of x1 based on its sign. We have to decide whether the root of the given equation f of x equal to 0 lies in this interval or in this interval. Then we calculate the next approximation x2. For that we make use of the same formula and proceed in the same way till to get the root with the desired accuracy. In this short introduction, let me now move on to an example. Find the real root of the equation f of x, that is x cube minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. This is an algebraic equation because it consists of only the powers of x. Let me take the given equation as f of x. As usual, f of x is equal to x cube minus 4x plus 1. First, let me find out in which interval the root of the given equation lies. For that, let's start with the value of 0. Just substitute x for 0 first. So, 0 cube minus 4 product 0 plus 1. Simplifying this, you get plus 1. This is positive value. Next, please substitute 1 for x, that is f of 1 is equal to 1 cube minus 4 product 1 plus 1. Simplifying this, you get 1 minus 4 plus 1, that is 1 plus 1, 2, 2 minus 4 is minus 2. That is, there is a change of sign from positive to negative value. So, which means the root of the given equation lies in the interval 0 and 1. Therefore, the root of the given equation lies in the interval 0 and 1. Next, I am going to list out all these values in a table form. So, for the simplification purpose, so as a first iteration, we have to find out the root of the given equation lies in the interval 0 and 1. And for that, values a and b, you have the corresponding values of f of a and f of b of 1 and minus 2. So, the root of the given equation lies in the interval 0 and 1. So, at 0, the function has the value plus 1, isn't it? At 0, the function has the value, that is at a, your function a, f of a is plus 1. So, this is positive. So, at 0, the function value of the given equation is positive, and at 1, that is f of b is negative, that is minus 2. So, negative. Next, I am going to calculate the first approximation, that is x1 is equal to a f of b minus b f of a over f of b minus f of a. You know all these values. So, a is 0. So, 0 product f of b is, no need to write this because whatever way the value multiplied with 0 means we get 0 for this term, minus b product. What is b here is 1. 1 product f of a. F of a is 1. So, 1 product 1 over f of b minus f of a, that is minus 2 minus 1. Simplifying this, you get 0 minus 1 over minus 3, that is 1 over 3. So 1 by 3 is already 0.3333 etc. isn't it? So we have to take up to 4 decimal places. So your first approximation is 0.333 etc. So here we take up to 4 decimal places, so 0.3333. So at that point your f of x value is minus 0.2962, because you substitute the value for x as 0.33 and simplifying this you get minus 0.2962. So using calculator, just calculate this function value at this point. Next, for the second iteration, since the value of f of x here is negative, so here we have to replace, because at the point A your f of a is positive and at b your f of b value is negative. So here our first approximation is 0.33 and its corresponding function values of negative value. If it is negative, definitely we have to replace the value of b. That is, you have to replace the value of b, that is 1 by 0.3333. So take the value of a as it is and take the value of b as 0.3333, and at the point A we have already calculated, at the point 0 we have already calculated the function value is 1, so take it as it is, and at the value of 0.333 we calculated the value of f of x, that is minus 0.2962, you take that value as it is. So now substitute all these values in the formula and simplifying this, you get the value of the root of the equation is 0.2571. So at this point, now you calculate its corresponding function value, that is f of x. So just replace the value of x by 0.2571 and simplifying this, you get the value as minus 0.0114. Here, look at the sign of this function value of the x value, that is minus here. So if it is minus, again you have to replace the value of b. That is, replace 0.3333 by 0.2571. So now we have to replace this value by this one. So in the third iteration, as usual, you take the value of a as it is. There is no change here. Now replace the value of b by 0.2571. And at the point a, that the function value is f of a is 1. So take it as it is. And at the point b, that is 0.2571, at this point your function value just now we have calculated, that is minus 0.0114. So now substituting all these values in the formula and simplifying this, we get 0.2542 as the value of x. So in the third iteration we get the value of x is 0.2542. You just replace the value of x here as 0.2542 and simplifying these values in this term, and finally you get the value as minus 0.0004. Look at the sign here too. Here itself we get the negative value. If it is negative, again you have to replace the value of b, that is 0.2571 by, you have to replace this value by 0.2542. So take the value of a as it is, replace the value of b by 0.2542. So at the point a we calculated f of a, that is 1 itself. So take it as it is, and 0.2542 corresponding function value just now we calculated as minus 0.004. Now we have all these values, substitute in the formula and simplifying this you get 0.2541. Look at the previous current iteration and previous iteration values. So I have to need the root of the given equation up to 3 decimal places only. So here look at the values. So these are all coincide up to 3 decimal places. So the root of the given equation for this problem. So the root of the given equation is 0.254. Next we shall move on to one more problem. Find the real root of the equation x minus cos x is equal to 0. This is a transcendental equation because it consists of the cosine term. trigonometric function cosine. So trigonometric functions like sine, cosine, tan, secant, cosecant, cot. So if the equation consists of any of the terms like this, you have to take that as a transcendental equation, and also make sure that the mode of the calculator is in radian mode. So whenever you are evaluating the root of the given function, your mode of the calculator should be in radian, not in terms of digit. So while we are evaluating the root of the functions like logarithmic or exponential or an algebraic equation, our mode of the calculator is in terms of digit, that's not a problem. So we always keep our mode in that is degree. So if it is in terms of, that is an equation involving the trigonometric function, your mode of calculator is in terms of radian. Now let me start with our procedure. As usual, you have to take the given function as f of x, that is x minus cos x as your f of x. Instead of substituting the value 0, 1, 2 like as we do in our previous problem, since it is a problem involving a transcendental function, that is like trigonometric functions, so we have to substitute the values for x as 0, pi by 6, pi by 4, pi by 3, pi by 2 and pi. So pi by 6 is 30 degree. So if you substitute first for 0, let me start with 0 as usual. So f of 0 is 0 minus cos 0. So the cosine value of 0 is 1, so that is minus 1. This is negative, isn't it? Next we substitute the value of x by pi by 6. So if you substitute the value of x by pi by 6, that is pi by 6 minus cosine pi by 6. So evaluating this, you get, before calculating this, let me check what is the mode of the calculator. So this is in terms of degree, I have to change this in terms of radian. That is one more mode, radian is available. So if you just change this to radian, you press this, it will change. In your calculator there is an option 1, 2, 3, you just accordingly you have to input the option, that will automatically convert it into radian. So now my mode of the calculator now is in radian mode. Now I calculate pi by 6, that is equal to 0.523 etc. minus cosine value of pi by 6, that is equal to minus 0.3424 etc. So f of pi by 6 value is, that is negative value I have to. Now pi divided by 4, this equals minus cosine pi by 4, that is equal to positive value 0.078 etc. that is positive value, isn't it? So at this point you get positive value. Here look at here, there is a change of sign from negative to positive. Therefore the root lies in the interval pi by 6 comma pi by 4, that is pi by 6 to pi by 4. At pi by 6 the function has negative value, so I have to take this as my a value, and pi by 4 the function takes the positive value, so I have to take pi by 4 as b value. So instead of taking the values in terms of pi, let me convert this in terms of digits, like that is pi by 6 means whenever you divide the value of pi by 6 you get 0.5236. So pi by 6 value in terms of numbers is 0.5236 and pi by 4 in terms of numbers is, that is 0.7854, 0.7854. So the root lies in the interval, so r pi by 6 is 0.5236 and 0.7854. So the root of the equation lies in the interval 0.5236 and 0.7854. So you have to take this as your A value and this is your B. At this point the function has negative value and at this point the function has positive value. Now I am going to list out all the successive iterations in a table form like this. So in the first iteration, we first find that the root of the given equation lies in the interval 0.5236 and 0.7854. So at 0.5236 the function value is minus 0.3424, that is negative, and at the 0.7854 the function value is positive. Next we calculate the value of x, that is x is equal to, that's a next approximation, a f of b minus b f of a over f of b minus f of a. So a is 0.5236 and f of b is 0.0783 minus b, your b value is 0.7854, product f of a, that is minus 0.3424 over f of b minus f of a, that is 0.0783 minus f of a is minus 0.3424. So these two minus becomes positive and these two minus become positive. So simplifying this, you get the value as 0.7367 as the next approximate root of the given equation. So now let's first find at this point what is the value of the function. So you just replace the value of x here as 0.7367 minus cosine value of 0.7367. If you simplifying this by substituting this value, you get minus 0.0040. Look at the function value, this is negative. So here at a we get the point 0.5236 is the point a for which the function value is negative, and for the point b its corresponding function value is positive. Here we get the next approximate root 0.7367, but at this point your function value is negative. If it is negative, definitely we have to replace the value of a in the next iteration. So in the next iteration you have to replace the value of a by x and take the value of b as it is, and f of a is, that is 0.7367 has a corresponding function value minus 0.0040, so take it as it is, and b value we have to take it as it is in the previous iteration, so f of b is 0.0783. So substituting the formula and simplifying this, you get 0.7391. So at this point now you calculate f of x. So just replace the value of x by 0.7391 and simplifying this you get 0.402. So here the function value at this point is positive. If it is positive, you have to replace the value of b in the next iteration. So in the third iteration we have to take the value of a as it is in the previous iteration, and we have to replace the value of b by 0.7391. And you know the values at these 2 points, corresponding function value you know already. Simplifying this using the formula, you get 0.7391. So look at the two values of x in the two iterations. So we get 0.7391, 0.7391, which means we get the root of the given equation up to 4 decimal places. So the root of the given equation is 0.7391. So the root of the given equation is 0.7391. Next, let me move on to one more example under this case. Find the real root of the equation x log x minus 1.2 is equal to 0. Here as usual you have to take the function f of x as x log x minus 1.2. So let me start at the value 0. That is, first we have to find the interval for which the root of the equation lies. For that, replace the value of x by 0, x log 0 minus 1.2. So log 0 is minus infinity. So if you multiply with 0, you get 0 minus 1.2, that is negative. Then f of 1, that is 1 log 1 minus 1.2. Log 1 value is 0. So whenever you multiply 0 with any value, you get 0. Again you get negative value. Next we move on to 2. 2 log 2 minus 1.2. 2 product log 2 is equals 0.6 and minus 1.2, that is equal to minus 0.59, that is negative value. So of f of 2 you get negative value. So we move on to next, that is if you replace the value by 3, that is 3 product log 3, that is equals minus 1.2 equals positive value. So of f of 2 you get negative value and f of 3 you get positive value, that is, so at f of 2 you get negative value and f of 3 log 3 minus 1.2, that is positive. So that is change of sign from negative to positive. Therefore the root lies in the interval 2, 3. So at f of 2, that is the function takes the negative value, and f of 3, at f of 3 the function takes positive value. So here I have to take a as 2 and b as 3. Now let me list out all the iterations in a table like this. So as a first iteration, we know the root of the given equation lies in the interval 2 and 3. So 2 and 3, at the point 2 the function has minus 0.5979, that is negative value, and at the point b the function has 0.2314, that is positive value. So now substituting the formula, the values a, b, f of a and f of b, and simplifying this you get 2.721. So just replace the value of x by 2.721 here, and simplifying these we get f of x is minus 0.0171. Look at the sign of the f of x value at this point. Here it is negative. So at the point a the function has negative value and at the point b the function has positive value. Here we get the first approximate root 2.721. So at this point the function has negative value. If it is negative, so you have to replace the value of a here. So if you replace the value of a, so in the second iteration, if you replace 2 by 2.7210 and take the value of b as it is as in the previous iteration, and substituting the values of f of a and f of b and simplifying this by substituting in the formula, you get 2.7402. So at this point the function has minus 0.0004. Again you just look at the sign of the function value at this point, that is negative. If it is negative, again you have to replace the value of a in the next iteration. So in the third iteration we have to replace the value of a by 2.7402 and take the value of b as it is and take down the values of f of a and f of b, that is at this point 2.7402 you have the function value minus 0.004 and at the point 3 we have 0.2314 as its function value, and simplifying all these value and by substituting the formula we get 2.7406, and at this point you calculate now the function value. For that you just replace the value of x by 2.7406 and simplifying this you get minus 0.404. Here also you get the sign of the function value is negative. If it is negative, again the next iteration you have to replace the value of a. So if you replace the value of a by 2.7406 and take the value of b as it is and write down the values of f of a and f of b and simplifying this by substituting all these values in the formula you get 2.7406 as the value of x. Now look at just compare these two values. Here we get the root of the given equation up to 4 decimal places. That is, these two roots coincide with each other up to 4 decimal places. So we stop the procedure. So the root of the given equation is 2.7406. So up to this, hope you got a clear idea about how to find the real root of the given equation using regular Falsy method. Thanks for watching. See you again in my next video.